Hi and welcome. My name is Phoenix and this is Chasing Limits on Shaw TV. It's the Junior and U23 Women's National Team Trials. Alongside providing his commentary, Executive Director with the Alberta Whitewater Association, Chuck Lee. Chuck, great to have you here, sir.
Thanks for having me, Phoenix.
Also, we have JP Parsonage providing interviews throughout the course of the day, and he is with a gentleman who's the coordinator of the national team. Here's JP.
What's going to be considered a good or a fast time today?
That's a difficult question. We need to see the forerunners to really get a grapple on what the minimum time will be. Yesterday's race course was, I think the fastest time was a 92. The cool thing about whitewater slalom is that every race course is unique and different. There's, like I said, between this race has 18 gates, sometimes there's a few more, and that will sort of change the length of time it's going to take. But I'd be looking to see the racers, the fastest men's K1 racers probably go just under 90 seconds on this course.
Wow, okay, so being the manager, you've got the inside track on the numbers. Who are we watching for today and who do you expect to perform really well?
Yeah, we're calling this our next gen team trials. So the neat thing is we're really featuring and focusing on those athletes who will be representing our national team in the 2020 to 2024 timeframe. But we've got some great talent in the system. We've got a young paddler who's originally from Ontario, is now training in Seattle, Washington, actually. Keenan Simpson posted the fastest score yesterday in the K1 class. We've got some really quick C1 paddlers from Ottawa. Liam Smedley, his brother is going to be representing Canada in Rio later this summer, his older brother. And he's really closing that gap on him and catching up, and so we look forward to seeing how he's going to do this weekend in the C1 class. He actually posted the fastest run on the second run yesterday, beating all the men's kayak scores, which was really cool to see.
Nice.
And then Hannah Penner, up-and-coming junior here from Alberta. She's looking really good, really quick this year and smooth on the water. And it's, the fast paddlers here, you want to see fast and clean runs, smooth, conserving their energy so they're not getting tired in the middle of the course, and that's what's going to post a fast time here.
All right, well, thank you for your time, James. We look forward to all of our racers today, and thanks again for giving us the inside scoop.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, in the junior class, we've got a really tight race for those number 2 and number 3 spots. Only 3 competitors will go to the Junior World Championships. And we've got another spot available in the U23 because there's only 2 competitors. They will send 3 if they can make the percentage cutoff. And right now, we have got 2 competitors that have made the percentage cutoff, 3 competitors that have made the percentage cutoff out of those 4 in juniors, and only 2 of them have made the percentage cutoff in the U23 group.
We're excited to show you the K1 women, the 3rd and 4th run. We will give you a commentary on each of these individuals as they enter into the course. Keep in mind, there are 18 gates to contend with. Also keep in mind, too, that if you touch a gate, whether it be the up gate or the down gate, it doesn't matter. It is a 2-point penalty on the small chance that you miss a gate. That's a major penalty, Chuck. One of the youngest competitors on the course right now. This is Gemma Grossmall. What do we know about Gemma?
Gemma's 13 years old. She's paddling out of the Waterworks Club in Calgary, and she's been racing with us now for 3 years. She raced this morning also in the C1 class, so she's working hard to get on track. She won't be eligible to go to the Junior Worlds because she's not a 14-year-old competitor yet. So this is just a practice run for her, but it's a good race experience.
Give us an idea here. She's 13 years old. What age would she be allowed on a course like this?
Depends on her skill set. It's more about skill sets than it is about her age.
And there's an evolution
I
as
wouldn't
well.
let you on this race course yet.
You better not. It's an evolution, so that you work your way up to a course that Gemma is facing right now.
That's right. I mean, we
start
don't
from
want
the pool.
We start from the pool. We get into the lake. We really want to encourage kids to get into the sport. If you look at the recent recreation survey from Alberta Sport and Recreation, kayaking placed ahead of a lot of other sports in terms of its participation levels, because we have a lot more adults kayak now than we have that play hockey or play basketball or that do soccer or basketball, baseball, etc.
Right. You mentioned that Gemma was introduced to the sport at the age of 10, and here she is now 13 years of age. You know, let's be honest here. She's doing a respectable job here on this course.
That's right. I mean, Gemma's, you know, she's still small. She's got a lot of growth potential to go through, and she will get bigger, stronger, and more technically proficient as she moves forward.
Two things that we'll show you on the screen, the time and the penalty count as well too. 2:08:33 with a penalty of +4 for Gemma. That will be factored in as part of her score. Again, a number of other competitors, not as young as Miss Gemma, but again, it's one of those things that she puts a big smile on her face, and we notice every time that she does runs, she is very, very excited just to be here, to be a part of this great group of elite athletes, including this young lady, Shannon Wagers.
Shannon's with the Cottonwood Club in Innisfail, and Shannon's been paddling with us about 4 or 5 years, and she's, again, building skills. She's 16 years old, goes to school in Innisfail, and has been a very steadfast contributor to the sport. Her mom's in the timing cage right now, watching her on the screen, but not able to watch her live performance.
This beautiful man-made course, over 30 years spent in the development. We remind ourselves back in 2013 with the floods that actually hit this area. This course was affected severely, yes?
We lost all the gates. We lost all the rocks. We're all just flattened down. We had great support from Lafarge, Canada, to donate more rock. We had great support from the Alberta government and the Disaster Recovery Program to get all the materials, put it back into place so that we could create this whitewater facility.
And when you say we, you mean the Whitewater Association?
The Alberta Whitewater Association worked very hard to get this race course back up and running again.
And so for athletes like Shannon, she gets a chance to actually, in her own backyard basically, to enjoy a course like this. And what an experience, what a thrill for these athletes.
She's having a little bit of trouble getting her nose back around that gate. Has to be on this side, and she wants to exit out of this side, and she's just having a hard time getting it
Okay,
out.
now wait a minute. Now, is that allowed, Chuck? Are you allowed to push off on a rock with your hand? Is that okay?
Oh, that's
okay.
fine. You can't hold on to the gate pole, though, and push off with the gate pole. That would be a 50-second penalty, too.
Oh, that's where I'd come in. A number of judges are in this course as well, too, and these are very well-trained, experienced judges as well.
Well, we really would take anybody that can get in there and look and see, okay, did you touch the gate? That's a 2-second penalty.
Right.
And most people have that sort of level of competence. And then we have a supervisor or a section judge that will look to make sure you got through the gate in the right direction with your head, with a piece of the boat, etc., etc.
Right. We have, of course, the up gates and the down gates. You have to attack the gate at the correct angle. We've noticed each of the gates are numbered as well too. And when we get a shot of it, you'll also notice that there is an X on the one side of the actual gate number, and that's just basically to indicate that's the wrong way. Now, in this example, gate number 11, there is no X because this is the proper way, the up gate. Correct?
That's correct. So all the red gates are up, and all the green gates are down. So that makes it fairly simple, but just in case you didn't see it, or in the case of Tyler Gerber from the other day, he's colorblind, so he can't actually see red and green. So
Great
it's important
point.
for him to remember where the gates are, what number they are, and what position they are.
That's a great point. Mind you, he'd also see the X through the number as well too. That can give him a bit of an indication as well too, which
That's
way
right.
he's got to go, right? Well, as you can see here, number 15 is where she is making her way, Shannon, through. It's 18 gates through this course, and the beautiful part of this course as well too, because this is man-made, as we alluded to earlier, the speed, the flow of the river, the conditions are basically repeating themselves for each of the athletes.
Right, and so you have fresh tracks for every person that goes down here. The wind may affect it a little bit, but essentially you don't have too much variation between each competitor. They all get a chance to paddle the gates. The gates, by the time the next competitor comes down, they've stopped swinging if they have somebody bash the gates. So it's a fair course every time.
How are the athletes seated here as we see the times for Shannon? Are they seated by their previous ability or their previous times, or is it just random?
No, it's not random. We've seated them back based upon their previous racing experience. And so what we've seen in the past, each of the coaches will go in and say, okay, this is where my top competitors are. This is where they've ranked before. And so we start them off, the slowest being in the first group, and our fastest racers being in the last group.
Jocelyn Taylor is waiting the thumbs up for her chance to attack this course, contestant or participant number 13. What do we know about Jocelyn?
Jocelyn's from the Waterworks Kayak Club in Calgary. She's racing to make that number 3 spot, number 2 spot for the junior national team. She has not made percentage yet, so she had raced yesterday very well. She's tied for that 2 and 3 spot right now with Renio and with Kylie, but she hasn't made percentage yet, so it's going to be interesting to see if she can make percentage.
We want to keep in mind as well, too, as you're watching Jocelyn get ready for her next run, the time does not begin until the bow of the boat passes through the gate.
There is a timing wand right there. So there's a electrical eye.
Okay.
So they have to cross that electrical eye, and that's why you don't see anything there. So sometimes they'll come down kind of slow, and then just pick it up right at the last little bit.
One of the important things as you're watching this event is that you want to make sure that you as a competitor and watch for them as they try to enter through the gates through the middle of the gate is ideal for the most part, because again, the closer you get to the gates, that's when you chance whether or not you're going to get a penalty. Jocelyn, so far, as she beautifully executed there, that's the way you want to go through a gate. And there are various ways you can go through, forward, backwards, sideways.
It doesn't matter anymore which way you go, the direction you go through, as long as you're going either upstream or downstream. And so here we're going to see her come up through the red gate. And she needs to get out of here fast. Takes a 2-second penalty there, but her head went through the gate. And that was the important part here when looking at this.
There's a number of challenges throughout this course here as well, too, and a lot of folks will tell you that when you're going through a course like this, you have to read the river. Just because that's where the gate is, let the river help you, or use the river to your advantage as you make it through each one of these gates, Chuck.
Yeah, you want to use that current and use the strength of the river to really pull you through the gate system. The course has been hung so that you're going to be able to use the water and the force of the water to drive the boat, but at the same time then you've got to sort of keep the boat online.
And you're anticipating the next gate. You've mentioned before in earlier programs or earlier shows that the competitor will always want to look 2 gates ahead.
Right, so she knows that to get to that next gate, she's got to be here, and now she's got to maneuver the boat over to this red gate, which is gate number 17. So she needs to keep her nose directly lined up so she's going in the right direction.
Magnificent shots brought to you by our crew here at Shaw TV, our volunteers and great staff here as well too. This is the junior and U23 women's national team trials that you're watching here. We'll see displayed the times there, and also the penalties assessed to each of the competitors. We have a number of them today, very exciting for all of them. The conditions are ideal. We chatted about the wind earlier in the program. It seems to not really be affecting these athletes. The gates, for the most part, they're weighted somewhat so that they're not moving as so much when we see the wind blowing. But this is a nice little area that the wind shouldn't play too much of a factor today.
That's right. We're hoping that we'll have a fair race course for everybody.
Renee Oler is the next competitor. This is competitor number 14, as we have a number of women who are challenged today on this beautiful, beautiful course here at Kananaskis River. If you come to the Kananaskis area, you'll see this, and again, mid-June through mid-July, the river is running at full strength, so there's a number of places you can find out as well, too, if you'd like to attack this course yourself.
Yeah, if you go to the TransAlta website, they'll give you an up-to-date reading of when the water is going to turn on, and when it's turned off, this riverbed is bone dry basically, and so you can walk across it, and you might get a little bit of your ankles wet, but that's about it.
In the early stages of this competition, we have young ladies who are new to the sport for the most part, who have a number of learning challenges as they make their way through the course. They're picking up a skill set from the other competitors. This, if anything, is a community of individuals that they're there to help each other. Everybody wants to improve. Tips are being passed on left and right.
Yeah, it's interesting if you walk down the course with these the competitors, how close they are to each other. And although they're competing against each other, they're really competing against this race course. And so it's not so much about what I'm not having to bash my other competitor or get in their head, because I just have to go out and concentrate on my race and do my best possible.
Love the fact that when we get a close-up of Renee, she's just got a wonderful smile on her face. She's absolutely enjoying the time here spent. Again, it's one of those learning opportunities for her when you get yourself into a competition and then time becomes a factor. That adds to the adrenaline rush. That adds to the excitement, if you will, and the competitive nature of each of these individuals. I mean, that's what we're finding and seeing what they're made out of. Yeah,
and Renio did very well. She's got those 6 seconds of penalties right now, but those are the gates 1, 2, and 3. She took 3 touches. And so to see her coming back and now be fairly clean on this run is nice to see her sort of put that together and put it all behind her.
The beautiful smile of Miss Oler as she completes her third run, 2:08.74, 6-point penalty. Now a reminder, this is the third of 4 runs that you'll be seeing today here on Shaw's. We take another look at Reneo through a bit of a challenge here on one of the gates.
Yeah.
She'll learn from it though. Yep. All right, on course now is Kylie Zirk in a beautiful, well, it's a nice color. I like that. She has a nice boat.
Kylie's upgraded her boat. She changed her boat from a boat she had last year. Kylie
a lighter boat, or what was it?
Just a smaller boat. So she's gone back to a more traditional design, and I think that's going to work well for her. Gives her a little more stability, a little more flexibility in terms of what she's doing. Nicely done on this first 4 gates. She's putting in a nice run here.
Did she make it through?
Ooh, that's tight.
What would you judge, Chuck?
I don't know. She's got to get underneath her chin.
Sure.
So her whole head's got to go through the gate. If she surpasses it with her nose, it's not good enough.
And we've chatted about this before. If you miss a gate, it's pretty much sudden death for you because that's 50 points that goes against you. She's challenged here with her line. You're wondering, why is she going that way? Because she missed a gate. She realizes it.
Yeah. She had to come back for that gate. Kylie is...
So here's a question for you. She already went through the previous gate, yet she hit it on the return. Will she be penalized for that? Even though she's been through the gate already?
Yes.
She will. Okay. We'll see that displayed on the screen in just a few moments here as Kylie Zirk is on course right now, maneuvering her way through the lower portion of this 18-gate run. Some challenges. There's one of them. She handles that very, very nicely as the umpire doesn't want us in that shot. Okay, maybe she doesn't want to be in the shot.
I think she's saying that was clean.
Oh, it was clean. She also getting aggressive with our cameraman, was he?
Yeah,
was she?
I hope not.
Let's hope not.
So Kylie is recovering from a series of concussions she had last year. And so she actually took a good portion of last season off, didn't compete at the Nationals, which is really strange for Kylie. But it's one of those things in terms of concussion management. It's important for people to know that when you get those headaches, you've got to take the break. You've got to be able to take the time to make sure you don't have another concussion because they just compound and compound. So Kylie took the last year off, and she's coming back now very strong.
On that note, Chuck, what are some of the other injuries you could face in this sport?
Some of the common things is lower back injuries and shoulders, right? Shoulders is the big thing about kayaking, but also lower back can be an issue. But by and large, it's fairly safe, right? I mean, you look at the protective equipment they're all wearing. They're all wearing a life jacket. They're all wearing helmets. They've all got protective gear on. And so the risk of injury is quite low.
Kylie, a little disappointed there. Why not? She got a 50-point penalty. She did not, in the judge's opinion, make it around one particular gate. She's, as you could see there a few moments ago, a little disappointed. But again, a reminder, this is the third of 4 runs. You can throw out one of your runs, and that'll give you an average score, as Hannah Penner is now given the thumbs up to attack this course. What do we know about Hannah Penner?
Hannah comes from Lundbrook, Alberta. She started paddling in Sundre, but she's been racing and moved out to Lundbrook a few years ago. And she is our #1 competitor for the junior women group. So she has won both the runs in yesterday's races. So she's coming into this with 0 points, which is what she wants to do, is have no points against her. So she's got the opportunity to sort of move forward on the junior national team and be in a very solid position.
She's the one to beat.
She is.
Hannah Penner so far clean through this run as she makes it into gate number 6. It is a down gate, beautifully maneuvered through another one, finds her line. Unlike Kylie in the last run, now she sets her sight for the up gate. again, you must make your way up through the gate. That's why it's indicated in red.
And Hannah's been to 2 junior world championships now. She was in Australia in 2014, placed in the top 20 in that year, and then last year she was in Brazil and was in the top 30 last year. So we're looking for Hannah to move up and qualify for Brazil, and then not for Brazil, for Krakow, Poland this year, and to be in a position to go on to the World Cup 4 and 5.
Penalty free through 12 and 13, sight set for 14. This is an upgate. Notice how close it is to the rocks. Maneuvers very nice. Oh, just a slight tap with her paddle. 2 points, penalty added to her score as she heads into the home stretch through 15, 16, 17, and 18.
Yeah, nice slide across behind the rock. You're using that eddy current to maneuver there, and then back over here to the side. Looked like a little touch there. I don't know if she got called for it, though. We'll see.
If you can keep your time under 2 minutes, you're doing great. It looks like Hannah Penner may just achieve it. Let's just keep an eye on that. 2 minutes and 1 second with a 2-point penalty. She's got to be pleased with that in her third run, Hannah Penner. Each of these ladies is competing for a spot. This is the women's national team trials today from Bow Valley Provincial Park, the Kananaskis Whitewater Center here in beautiful Kananaskis, Alberta, Canada. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Phoenix, joined by this gentleman over here to my right, Executive Director with the Alberta Whitewater Association, Chuck Lee, giving us commentary on each of the competitors. Insight, great insight too, Chuck. Thank you very much. Lois Betteridge is our next competitor.
Lois is from Ottawa, Ontario, and she been racing for a number of years with the Ottawa team. She was trying to go direct there, realized that she was going to be too low and would miss that gate, so she changed direction, does the spin move, and then is on to gate number 5.
Boy, don't you wish you could be on that river right now, Chuck?
I don't know if I could race against these girls. They look pretty fast. I'd be pretty embarrassed now.
Well, they make it so easy, don't they? They make it look so easy.
When you're good, you're good.
Yeah.
You can hear the Ontario team coaching yelling on for her, right? So they're all running down the race course, ringing their bells and encouraging Lois to push, push, push.
Okay, here's an odd question. If her hair was to brush over the gate, would that be a 2-point penalty?
Your body, your boat, your blade
So
all have to go through. And
so you're
your
saying
hair,
yes then? Yes.
Yes.
Your hair?
Your hair. We got one of the national team guys. He's got to shave down his beard because it's too long, and he keeps on touching it with his beard. Ben. Not to mention any names.
No.
Ben.
On the course with Lois Betteridge. Watch the hair. Oh, there she goes. Yes. 2-point penalty so far. I'm not sure it was because of her hair through gate number 15.
Lois is in really good position right now. She is, after the first day of racing, she had 6 points against Hannah's 5. So the two of them versus Kylie is down in 9th place, 9 points. So she's in really good shape right now to make it onto the U23 team as well as the World Cup 4 and 5.
Slightly off the leader. Again, these times are unofficial. 2:03.12 for Lois with a 2-point penalty. And no, it's not because of her hair, but still a great run for that young lady. Here's just an early example of her just touching with her boat.
Back of her blades, right? On back of her shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, there's that shoulder problem again. Oh, my goodness.
2 bigger shoulders.
Florence Mayhew is now on the course. This is the 3rd or 4th run. Here's a question for you, Chuck. If the first 3 runs are magnificent times, do each of the racers have the option of not racing in one of the races?
They would, but they probably wouldn't take that chance. They would just go ahead and put it down.
You're
right?
taking a chance. Yeah.
So you allow somebody else to win the race, and then you might be out because you didn't put down a good enough race. So most of them all do it and make sure they compete in all 4 runs. It's good race experience. Every time you go up in the start line, you then have that extra advantage when you go to the next start line.
How's she doing so far?
Florence is amazing, right? She has done a great job this season. Her first 2 races in this competition, she was just blistering fast. Really good times and very low penalty scores. So she has done an amazing job. As a U23 athlete, she is doing an exceptional job here.
Steady through the transition as she makes her way through past the halfway point of this course through 12 and 13. A couple of down gates. Attacks it very well. Now her next challenge as she makes a hard left-hand turn through this up gate. Well done.
Yeah, Flo is an exceptional national team athlete. We're expecting great things from her as she moves forward into the senior team. She's been racing on the senior team for a number of years, but at the senior team trials a week ago, she didn't quite make the percentages she needed to make. So, but this week she's been doing amazingly well.
Look at that time. We talked about keeping it under 2 minutes. How about that? 1:39.75, setting a standard. Florence Mayhew with no penalties, clean on that run. Boy, that is an example of somebody who really understands this course, but understands her technique as well too. Great stuff done there by that young lady.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. Look at this as she just maneuvers her way around. Again, she's making it look so easy. Well, the competition continues here from Kananaskis, Hannah Penner, Reno Oler, and Jocelyn Taylor. Those are your 3 in the lead right now. We're back with more. This is so much fun. Thank you for joining us on Chasing Limits on Shaw TV. We have more to come. It's the Junior and U23 Women's National Team Trials here on Shaw TV. More to come.
I'm not special. Cancer happens to people all the time. I take 1 mile at a time, 26 miles a day. I want to set an example that'll never be forgotten. Sometimes, it feels endless. But the pain I feel is nothing. I've seen little kids in so much pain. Somewhere, the hurting must stop.
Terry Fox ran more than halfway across Canada to raise money for cancer research. Every year, millions of people around the world continue the marathon of hope in his name.
YCOM Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta Amateur Sports. Visit ycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
Hi and welcome back. My name is Phoenix. This is Chasing Limits on Shaw TV, Junior and U23 Women's National Team Trials. Yes, it's the K1 women in the third and fourth runs that you're watching. We're going to get back to the fourth run competition, but sideline or side river reporter JP Parsonage with Hannah Penner.
All right, I'm down waterside with Hannah Penner. Hannah, 18 years old now, a 7-year member of the team. How are you feeling about your run today?
Well, it felt pretty good. What I was trying to do for my first run this morning, I just wanted to have a solid, safe run that would get me that first spot in the ranking. So I got first place for today, and so that secured my spot on the team.
All right, so mission accomplished on step one. Now we have one more run this afternoon coming up. What do you want to do with that one?
Well, since my spot's already been secured on the team, I kind of just want to push my limits and see what I can do. Play things a little not quite as safe, so take the more riskier lines and just like see how fast I can go.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we're looking forward to that. Congratulations on making the national team and the great run. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Hannah Penner doing a wonderful job here. Look forward to round number 2.
Thank you very much, JP. Beautiful conditions today. Chuck Lee is joining me as well, too. Chuck is the executive director with the Alberta Whitewater Association. Boy, you must love seeing this competition here. It's just a spectacular facility. Congratulations to you and your team.
Well, we're very fortunate to have this kind of facility in Alberta that allows us to race, compete, paddle, train, and just recreate.
It's the fourth run, if you will, for these ladies. We're trying to make it on the national team. There's a lot at stake here.
Yeah, each of these ladies is trying to find a way to get onto the national team. But the other side of this is that if they do make the national team and they want to go to Poland, it's a $5,000 bill, and they're paying it. Their parents are paying it. No, there's no support for the national team for them to go. So each one of them is paying a $5,000 bill to represent Canada at the next World Junior Championships.
Well, you got to love the sport. You hear that, Mom and Dad? Gemma Groshmal, we saw her in the third heat, the third race, if you will, the round, and run. I'll get my words right. And she was struggling to begin with, but again, we've established that she is one of the junior competitors, 13 years old, who is probably using this as a learning experience. She's got the biggest smile on her face every time she goes around. But good for her for being out here and competing.
Whoa, that was close. She lost her balance there and used a nice little brace there to sort of pop herself back up again. Good balance, good control. Nice to see Gemma sort of stay on there.
The beautiful thing about this is these athletes can actually throw out one of their 4 runs. So if something kind of went south, then they could throw that one out, and then they get the average of the 3 runs.
That's right. And so it's the best of the 4 runs that count towards your overall score. The lowest score is the best, so you get 0 points for winning the race. You get 2 points for second place, 3 for third, and so forth.
And if you're watching the screen as well, too, and just joining us, you'll notice that there is a time and there's a penalty count for each of the individuals. Again, this being the fourth run. That the best time so far, I believe we had, was just under the 1:40 mark. And so, as you can tell, Gemma struggling a little bit here. But again, it's a building experience. She's getting feedback for improvement. She will learn from this. She will take this, and what a thrill for this young lady as she maneuvers her way through the upgate here at Kananaskis River.
Junior Gemma is probably the number 1 candidate this year going into the national championships and moving towards national championships in Jonquière, Quebec. So she's got a good chance of actually doing very well and winning the cadet class for the K1 women.
What kind of advice would you give to this young lady?
Just keep paddling. Keep paddling.
Yeah.
Every day you get on the water, you just learn something new, and you build on some strengths. And the funny thing about training in whitewater kayaking is it doesn't feel like you were training. It just felt like you were just going out and having fun on the river.
Interesting. There is the time for Gemma, 2:23.15, and a 4-point penalty count. Here being Canada, it's difficult to train all year round. A lot of indoor training, I'm assuming, that these athletes will go through as well.
Well, we actually encourage the athletes to take some time off during the wintertime and go do some other sports. But as you get sort of into that upper echelon of junior, U23, senior national team, more of the competitors will start to travel around the world to find open water. The Kananaskis is the home to David Ford, who trains here almost all year round through the winter months. He'll be on the Kananaskis training as well. And so we've been very fortunate to have David here.
Olympian David Ford.
5-time Olympian David Ford. Just missed the mark last week to go to the 6th Olympics, and past the world champion. But he trains out of Canmore, and he's on the Canasses on a regular basis.
Again, a magnificent facility and a great opportunity for these young athletes to test out their skills and see whether or not they've got what it takes, and also to rub shoulders with some of the elite athletes as well.
They don't only rub shoulders, they actually get coached, they get mentored by these older athletes, and it's very unusual to have the rifts or individual animosity
sure.
that you see in other sports perhaps, but because you're challenged by the water, you're challenged by the way that and every one of us wants to see more people out and involved in the sport. Shannon's going to miss this gate right now. She's going to come back up, so she would have been too low. She was going to miss that gate. Can she come back up in the middle of the current? I don't know, Shannon. Hup, hup, hup.
Yeah, it's one of those learning experiences right here. You know, if you miss your line, you're going to struggle. And she's just trying to make a decision right now what she wants. She still wants it. I give her that. I give her the determination. Shannon Wagers is doing her best, and she look at that. There is
that's a lot of effort.
That's a lot of effort. Good for her.
But good for her. And she spins this gate so she can get herself in position.
Personal challenges, yes?
That's right. And again, it's a matter of sort of building off those strengths, building time on the water. Shannon comes from Innisfail, Alberta. She paddles with the Cottonwood Club and Darius the Ramatan. And she does a lot of canoe polo in the wintertime. So she paddles and plays a sport of...
canoe polo, you said?
It's like water polo or... water polo with kayaks.
Okay, that's our next Chasing Limits show. That sounds great.
It's a 5-on-5 game, and they have a series of nets, and you know.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, it's a good, fun sport.
I love it.
And a great competition. Alberta's been dominating the national team for a number of years in canoe polo, and Shannon's part of the junior women that have gone to the world championships in the past in that sport.
There's world championships for canoe polo.
You
Who
bet.
knew? We got to get that on TV. That's fantastic. There's Shannon's time, and there's her penalty count as well, too. Each of the competitors, they're not only challenging themselves with the time, but, of course, the penalties, and those with the lowest scores will get the lowest points, and that's what they're shooting for right now. Again, there's a lot at stake here. And, again, for this young lady, what's at stake is the experience. And she will learn from this. She'll see this, and she'll probably look at the tapes later, Chuck, and say, oh, why did I do that? I didn't mean to do that.
It's all good. It's all good. Shannon's a competitor on her own, and she's just getting down this race course, making it all happen.
You had mentioned that for these competitors to go to the next level, it's going to cost them a few bucks. I wonder if are you allowed to put any sponsorship opportunities on your boat?
Oh yeah. Yes, you can. There's some restrictions at the international level, but you still have the opportunity to put some. You can see the Tech logo on the back of her boat, right? Mm-hmm. That's from Tech Coal.
So if you're a potential company out there and you're thinking, hey, you know what? Why not? Well, call up some of these athletes and get in touch with them, because they would love your support.
They would love your support. Their parents would love it even more.
I don't doubt that for a moment. As Shannon completes the course, and she'll walk away with a great experience here. She can say, oh yeah, that was fun. I could learn a lot, and she'll take it to her next competition. As we get into the heart of the competition here, again, a reminder that you are watching the fourth run of the Junior and U23 Women's National Team Trials from beautiful Kananaskis River. What a magnificent man-made facility, a facility that's been around for over 30 years, although in 2013 there was a bit of a stumble. Of course, you may have heard about the floods, but your crew, Chuck, made this possible.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time working with the sponsorship from Lafarge to give us the big rock that we needed to rebuild the race course. We spent a lot of time working on shaping the river the way we wanted to get it to create the rapids. It's a great facility now, and people just from around the country love it.
Okay, we're just going to take a quick moment here before the competitors get back on the course. But as we mentioned to you before, Riverside, we couldn't make it possible unless gentleman joins us as well, too, with his next interview. This is JP Parsonage. Hey, JP, who do you got over there, buddy?
All right, I'm here with Mike Holroyd, head coach of ASK. What's ASK, Mike?
ASK is Alberta Slalom Canoe Kayak, and we're the provincial organization that is responsible for slalom in Alberta.
Okay, awesome. How many members do you guys currently have?
In our high performance group, we have about a dozen athletes that are training full time.
Okay, wow. And you guys train out here at Canoe Meadows all the time?
Yeah, this is our favorite location. We've got permanent setup here with gates, and the river's fairly consistent water level. So anytime it's on, then we're here.
This is an absolutely fantastic facility. So if other people wanted to join ASK or look up ASK, how do they find you guys?
Well, so the progression, the easiest way is to start out with one of the clubs. So we've got about a dozen clubs around the province through the Alberta Whitewater Association. And so people start off with their local club, get involved, start in the pool, work their way up to moving water, and eventually they make their way here.
All right, so High Performance Club. Obviously, you guys are fielding a number of competitors here today. Who should we be watching out for?
So from Alberta specifically, we've got in the women's class, Hannah Penner, Reneo Oler, Jocelyn Taylor, Gemma Grochmel, some of the top.
Okay, some familiar names to people who have watched our shows before.
Exactly.
Now, what about people from outside of Alberta? Where are they coming from?
There's a good group from Ontario, Quebec, one top girl from Saskatchewan here.
Timing, haha, yes. Saskatchewan, represent.
So yeah, we've got I think we've got 7 provinces, including the Yukon here. So it's
wow. Okay, so this is a qualifier for World Championships, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So who else do you see? Anybody else coming out of the ASK group for World Championships?
Yeah. So in the men's class, we've got Darius Remerton and Trevor Boyd and Tyler Gerber, and they'll be battling the Ontario boys here this weekend. So and we'll be going to Poland in July with all of them, and I'm the head coach for that, so we'll take them all. So I'm excited to see everybody race well.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, Coach. We look forward to seeing your athletes compete today.
Cool, thanks.
Thanks, JP. Yeah, Mike will be your next chaperone. Don't worry, he'll take care of the kids as they head off to Poland. Great job, Mike. All right, back on the course here as the junior and U23 women's national team trials continue. Competitor number 13 as she takes an aggressive stance on the course. Run number 4 for Jocelyn Taylor.
Yeah, Jocelyn's doing very well. Right now she's sitting in 3rd spot. She's got a position sort of almost secured for the junior national team, but she hasn't made percentage yet. So this will be interesting to see if she can come up with the time down the race course without penalties that she needs to be able to qualify, and that doesn't help her.
Explain percentages.
So the national team sets a percentage that says we're not going to send an athlete to a World Championships unless they're going to be competitive. So they look at the race course, they look at the past percentages on the national teams, and they suggest, okay, that these competitors have to be within percentage. So for Jocelyn, she's got to be within 31% of the leader from today to be able to qualify to go to the Junior Worlds. They don't want to send her if she's going to struggle, because the race courses there are going to be harder. It's going to be more difficult. So she's got to be able to show that she can actually perform at a reasonable level and be able to handle that race course. If she can't, well, there's always next year.
Yeah, but as any athlete will say, yeah, but they want it this year. They want it now, Chuck. 18 gates each of these athletes have to maneuver through. In the next level of competition, they're looking at upwards of what, 20, 22 gates?
Yeah, it all depends on each race course is different, but it could be up to 24 gates. And the
distance between the gates a little tighter?
Quite a bit tighter usually. But it can be, it'll vary. Each course will be different. And there's no set requirement for anything more than 18 gates. So Jocelyn's doing a very good run right now. She's got a good time and low penalty score, so she's on track right now. If she can keep this going, she's still got some really good competition here from Renio and from Kylie. So we'll see how she can do in terms of getting this finished off.
Keep in mind these times are unofficial. Florence Mayhew has the fastest time so far. 2:07.17 for Jocelyn Taylor with a 4-point penalty. An average score for her, but I'm sure deep down inside, as you can tell by her expression, she was hoping for much better. Well, this young lady in her 4th run is hoping for much better as well, too. There is a lot at stake here. It's called the Championships in Poland. And competitor number 14 has now entered the course, rounding gate number 2, Renee Oler.
Reneo's sitting in a really good place right now. She's in second place for the junior women, and she's made percentage already, so she's just coming down here. She's just got to put a solid run in to make sure that nobody else can beat her out of her spot.
If something goes south big time where she misses a gate, is she still in contention?
She is, because she can throw away at that race.
There you go.
And so it's only her best 3 races that she has to count against.
So right now this is more of a training run for her?
Well, she doesn't want anybody else to beat her on this run either, because otherwise that competitor could move up the ranking.
Exactly. How many team members are taken to the Nationals?
To the Junior Worlds, there'll be 3 juniors, and there are only 2 U23 women competing today. So there's a potential for one of the women to move up into the U23 group.
And is Renee one of those?
Renee is one of those. So we'll see. She's got a really good chance right now of making the junior team, and she also would be in contention for a U23 spot if necessary.
Renee clean through that up gate. Again, the down gates are the green gates. The up gates where you have to basically reverse direction. And you'll see here as Renee makes a sharp left-hand turn by the rocks through 14. Clean so far on this run. She's doing great.
Great run for Renee. Nice slide across behind this rock over to the other side of the current. Get herself in position. Looks like she touched that gate.
Final 2 gates here. This is number 17, a bit of a challenge. It's near the end of the race where you're pretty much exhausted. She pushes through 18, and you will see her time and her penalty count. Again, these times are unofficial, 1:58.18 for Renee Oler.
Ooh, that was close.
It's a matter of inches, isn't it, Chuck? A matter of inches.
Yeah, and look at her. Nice run through here. Slides down, keeps the boat running.
Beautifully done. Now here's the boat that I like. I like this color.
Kylie's from Saskatoon, and as I mentioned before, after first runs, during first runs, Kylie had a series of concussions last year, so she had to take the season off. She hasn't really quite recovered yet. Let's see what she does here. She's going to do a spin move. It's not quite
She knows
there.
it too. She knows it.
Yep. So she has to reverse, come back. She's trying to spin a little bit, take a little bit of seconds off, because she's got to get a better qualifying time this time.
You've got to find that line. You've got to maintain that consistency, or else tragedy will strike. She had a bit of a challenge there. Kylie now trying to get herself into position for gate number 6, and
Spins gate number 6, then it puts
it.
her in position for gate number 7. Right, so some of these times you look at it and say, I need to be on the line, but at the same time, Kylie's got lots of skills. She's been to 3 Junior World Championships so far. She's striving to get her to her 4th, and she competed earlier today in C1 Women's, and she did make the team in C1 Women's, so she's trying to go a double event, go C1 and K1. That's a challenge for anybody.
Now we're in the K1 class. This is different than the C1, paddle being one of them.
The paddle, she's got 2 blades, but she's also sitting on her butt, as opposed to in the C1, they'd be kneeling.
There you go.
So it's C1 is a more challenging boat. It's very powerful, but it's not as fast.
Through 12 and 13, she does. Sights set for 14.
Kylie's got a good time running here.
She's doing great. Again, the fastest time you'll see on your screen by Florence Mayo earlier today of 1:39.75. Kylie just a little past that, but still in contention here with only a 2-point penalty. As she comes across through, or hoping to go through. Oh, she penalty there. The last 2 gates here is number 17. At insult to injury, you finish the course and you've got to deal with this particular gate. There she goes.
Challenging to get up to that gate if you come in low.
Through 18, Kylie Zerk, her time, 2:15.07. A couple of points on a penalty. She should be satisfied with that run.
I don't think so. Kylie can do much better.
Speaking from a coach point of view?
Yes.
Way to go, coach. Come on, Kylie, you know that.
No, I've got a lot of faith in Kylie. I just know what she can do.
There you go.
And I've seen her perform at a higher level before.
You want to see her reach her
And
potential.
I want to see her do her best.
We were chatting earlier with this young lady. This is Hannah Penner. 7 years she has been involved in this sport. And
She tried to do the direct like Kylie did. Didn't quite have the right positioning on her boat. Had to reverse direction.
Yes.
And come back in a different way.
That's going to affect her time slightly as
That
well,
will.
too. She's got to stay as clean as she can on this because now she's fighting against time. She realizes that she is behind, so she's got to not only stay clean, but again, this is it's a little bit more nerve-wracking for this young lady because she realizes that she's behind the 8 ball right now. She makes a hard left-hand turn, trying to gain some time as much as she can, probably taking some chances along the way too, Chuck.
Well, she knows she's got a spot secured on the junior national team. So now she's just trying to compete for that next generation team with the chance to go to World Cups 4 and 5 and Europe later in the summer. But she said before this race, she was just going to let it all hang out and cut the corners, make it as fast as time as she can, try to catch up with flow.
Beautiful around 11. 12 and 13, 2 down gates. There's 1, 2. Now a couple of strokes before she finds 14. Through some of the rapids around 14, very nicely done. Still no penalty assessed to her during this run. Hannah's looking at a great time right now. Great run. Around the big rock. Did you put that in yourself?
Oh, yeah. Actually, Bob Smith put that in years ago. That has been a mainstay of the Cananas for 30 years now.
We should call it the Bob Smith Rock.
It's called Big Bertha.
Big Bertha, is it that what it's
Yeah.
called? Well, there's Hannah through 18. There's her time. Under 2 minutes was this fantastic time for her. 1:56.51, 0 penalty count. Good for her. She's got to be absolutely thrilled with that run.
Great run for Hannah.
Here's an example of just squeaking through. Well done for this young lady. Great stuff. Aggressive on the course now. You can tell the difference of this young lady. Here's Lois through 1. Miss Betteridge through 2. She wants a great time here because she knows what she's up against.
Yeah, Lois is qualified now for the U23 team. It's a question of will she make the squad for the next generation team that will go to the World Cups in 4 and 5.
Having difficulty on the 3rd gate. Boy, that's going to be frustrating. Smooth around the up gate.
Yeah, you love watching that concentration, don't you? Seeing how they just look and they know where their body is and they know where that pole is and just wrapping themselves around it.
Maintaining that line, trying to make sure you go right through the middle, trying to avoid those gates because if you touch it, there's a penalty. If you miss it, there's a 50-point penalty, and no one wants to face that. Beautiful, the difficult transition right here. Ooh, just slightly glanced over that one.
Yeah, that'll be a 2-second penalty.
Yep.
But still, she's got a great line. She's doing very well here. Keeping that boat running up and out as quickly as possible. Lois's team from Ottawa is cheering her on
You
here.
can hear them screaming, yeah? Through 12, through 13, very nicely done. Those rocks are intimidating, but she does it nicely through 14. Trying to get below the 2-minute mark. She's suffered a few penalty points here, as you can see on the screen. Now through 17. She just went past Big Bertha, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Past Big Bertha.
Here's 18. Oh, a little tough on the final 2 gates. There is your time for Lois Betteridge of 2:06.24. Lost some steam near the end. 6-point penalty. Will that be enough for that young lady? Had some struggles through the course. Here's an example early off of the course, Chuck. She just couldn't hold it. Just having difficulty through that area. Oh.
Yep. So it's just those little things. You got to put them all together. You got to stay on that line. And this is the girl who has been staying on those lines all day long. What do I say?
I was about to say setting a shining example, but I may want to retract that. This is the 4th run for Florence Mayhew, who had a little bit of difficulty there, but she's...
That's the best line I've seen all day.
Yep.
With that spin move. Ouch.
Well, we saw her in the third run, and she just was masterful through the course. Struggling a little bit here, maybe just taking a little bit off the gas.
Well, and Mash probably putting a little bit too much on the gas, right? So she's got her pedal on the accelerator, and she's just going. She knows she's got her team selection nailed down. She's like Hannah. She knows where she is, so she can just push it as fast and as far as she can. So it's great to see Florence taking these extra chances and seeing what she can do out of it.
Beautiful turn. Through 12 and 13, now on to 14. 18 gates. Florence Mailloux.
See how fast she is? Nice positioning.
She makes it too easy. She makes it look so easy.
It is when you're good. There she goes behind Big Bertha.
Yeah, beautiful transition.
Cross. 17, 18. And can she
Florence
do it?
Mailloux won 42-7-2, 4-point penalty, but probably good enough to keep her in the lead. What a shining example of great talent. You mentioned the lines. There was a little bit of an oops there, but boy, still great technique through some of these gates, but still holding wonderful lines. Great example of amazing talent as we see the boat just maneuver so beautifully through the water. Fantastic job from Florence. Fantastic. We're back with more as we take a look at the leaderboard. Hannah Penner, no surprise.
Renio, Jocelyn, number 2 and number 3, and Jocelyn makes percentage. She can't go to the Worlds. So this is a great result for Jocelyn. Not so good for her mom and pop, who've got to come up with that $5,000. Kylie, disappointing. Kylie's been at the World Championships in juniors for the last 3 years.
Right.
She will not make the team in juniors, but if we look at the next leaderboard, push it over, she will make the team for U23.
Fantastic. What a great example. And again, represented well in Alberta as well too. Florence Mailloux, a shining example of how it's done. Fantastic job on her part. Yeah, you were impressed with Florence.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely did a great job.
From Kananaskis on Shaw TV, this is Chasing Limits, a glimpse of Western Canada's action sports and a look into the amazing personalities and athletes that continue to chase limits here on Shaw TV. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.